Okay, hey everyone, and welcome to the final stash I'll be showing for this year before the 4th. This has been quite a milestone, and I don't think I've actually got a bigger stash set up besides this year, so I'm gonna go down everything as quick as I can. Yes, I will try to go through everything here and what you can't see in the piles. I think I'll start off over here and explain what some of the stuff does. And besides that, yeah, this should be an awesome 4th, guys. First up, we have this box here that I've been saving up since I was little. It's got some really old things in it, like some things I'd find at the reservations on the ground. Like there's some kind of miscellaneous stuff, and this is like kind of really describes what that is. So there's like a helicopter, some interesting bottle rockets that have tape on them that I was experimenting with in the past. And here's some disco flashes. I think there might be like one more left, and then there's the Mandarin snaps back here. So there's like, they come in 20 in a box, and they're those red snaps you throw on the ground that are pretty loud. Just in this second box right here, there's some straws that have some mixtures in them that are gonna flare at night, and some have some smoke clouds or different compositions there. There's also this has got Kano 3, so it's kind of like a smoke bomb as well. It doesn't actually explode, but it is just a smoke bomb, so that's really cool. There's the Warrior Bomb firecrackers. I really like these. If you find them at the reservations, get them. Here's one of those Chinese boxes, but it's actually used all up, so right now I've just got some of the TP3s left over from last 4th of July in the cracker pack. There's my lighters, and there's some smoke balls left over from before. Alright, now starting off with some of the bigger stuff here, we got some flares. Yes, these are all flares. They have some really cool compositions. These are actually smoke flares right here. That's why they've got the S on them. I've got 2 of those left. There's some red flares right here. I used off a formula guide so I could make some road flares. There's a nice red flare right there. There's some thicker ones back here which do either the same thing, or this one's a yellow flare. That's why I put the Y there. So it's got sulfur. It's got a new composition I discovered recently. This one, so yeah, all of these ones back here are a bit bigger, so they might put off a cooler show. I can't wait to find that out later. Now this one is danger explosive, so I got at the top here a nice red pre-burn, and then it's going to go down into a cool 7.3 flash report. So yeah, that's really awesome. Next up here are some homemade rockets with some Kano 3 rocket fuel, so they do go up pretty well. I found that these white Schedule 40 PVC tubes work the best. I made them most recently. These blue PEX piping tubes, yeah, the head just fell off right there, so I'll have to fix it later. Those have a bigger ID, so they might last longer or go up higher. I'm not quite sure. For instance, this rocket here does have a nice cap up at the top, so it's like a soda cap filled with some flash, so it's got a report. And then right here we got the actual nozzle for the rocket. Next up in this stash, this is the Euro stash, so I kind of keep everything organized here. This is the Cobra 6s that I got pretty recently. So yeah, I put a zip tie around those, and I can't wait to try them out later. These are the everybody's favorite Doom Boom Nanos. If you ever know what some of the Euro crackers do, these are classics. I'd say one of the quieter firecrackers that they've got. In this Doom Boom box here, we don't actually have real Doom Booms, but these are some triangle crackers that are hard to see. I've showcased those in my last video, so be sure to check them out as well. There's a nice explosive 2 package from Jorg right there. There's a Xana Toreno that it's hard to see, some mini bombs, and a Signalos 2.0. We also got the simple Doom Booms, the classic Petarda we always get from Poland and we love. So yeah, simply the best right there. Can't wait to try that one out. And here is the very last of the Mr. Boom 2 by Pyro Bandits. It's got some tape on it. This one is official, and it did come all the way from the other countries. So I've got another Mr. Boom 2 I will test later, I promise. Last but not least, we got some Micro Doom Booms. And under this box here, we got some FP3 Smalls, some Thunder Kings, and later I'll be sure to show some other things that come later. Alright, so moving on as fast as we can here, these are some Spanish firecrackers right here. Here's some triangle crackers. So yeah, there's one of them so far. I'll set that right here so I can dig through this. It's got some miscellaneous firecrackers as well. These are my favorite Spanish crackers right here because the surface area is the smallest, so I found that those are the loudest. This is a spherical salute. It's actually got a whistle timer fuse, so that's really cool. I can't wait to try that one out. And as I dig through here, yep, there's another Spanish cracker that we just saw earlier. There's a thicker Spanish cracker compared to the old one right here. And sometimes they fail because they've got a really weird force distribution, so yeah. Here's one of those jumpy fuse Spanish crackers. It's a lot bigger than those other ones right here, just so you can see for size. And then right here, here's a really small little M80. So yeah, got another yellow Spanish cracker right there. It's basically all just Spanish crackers down to the brim down there. And here's another little soda cap cracker that we'll have to test later. Awesome. And next up, we got the big boy box that's just got a whole bunch of miscellaneous firecrackers. So here's some full stick ones. The ID on them is 3/4, so they are pretty cool. Here's a whistle boom chipola. I showcased that in my last video if you haven't seen it already. Here again's another half stick right there, full stick I mean. There's another purple one. I'll try to get them out of the box right here so I can just showcase them one by one. Okay, yeah, so this is basically the variety I have. Here's another full stick. It's got a nice sparkler fuse, a half stick. This is another full stick right here. It is definitely the same. It just looks a bit bigger because I used a longer tube for it. This one right here is it's got like a sparkler fuse. It's a bit broken, so I might have to fix it later. And it is a canister salute. So it goes crackle, sparkler to salute. So yeah. Next up, we got those really thick traditional M80s with a nice generous fuse, so we can be safe. This one is 50 grams. It's got one of those firecracker fuses that goes all the way to the end and down into 50 grams, so I can't wait to try that later. Comparing these last two M80s right here, this one is a bit smaller than this one. I think this one has around the same grammage, so they should be about the same size in actual comparison to lighting them off, but we'll have to see later, so yeah. To make this interesting real quick, this is a nice strip of Spanish crackers right here, so you actually just light it at the top and it goes down to all the Spanish crackers. For the finale, there's just kind of that M80 sitting at the back, so yeah, I'll set that over. These are the really big Emperor Dragon 2-inch firecrackers that come in those long strips. And right here we got the jumbo ground blooms with bangs, so they're pretty cool. A quick thing about these Emperor Dragon firecrackers, they are actually this big right here. Compared to my hand, if I put it all the way back here, they are pretty big, so yeah. Can't wait to try those out. I did actually already showcase a lot of this Boom City stash right here, so if you guys want to check that out later, you can. Here's some signal flares. We got the sound check cake. It's a salute cake. It's got 25 shots, so yep. Air missile battery that I picked up yesterday. There's another Shazam fountain. Just some retail stuff to have and light off. There's the crazy crack up barrels that have got lots of crackling in them. Some strobe lights, crackling strobe lights. Screaming willies that last about 30 seconds, they're really cool. 12 smoke ball packages, 2 of those. Hen laying egg. Smoke twister, 4 of these. Red and green single shots, these are actually really cool, and from what I heard they are better than the lightning rods. Down here we have some strobe crackers. I just quickly glued these up, so they're actually on one of those 2-inch crackers up there, so they got a strobe and then they'll boom at the end. I got 3 of these pull pin smoke grenades, so this one's pink, and then we got some other colors down here. We got a white one and a blue one, so yeah. Everybody's favorite crackling balls. They did these a little differently this year, but I got a whole bunch of them to try out. Got some cool jumpy fuses with some cardboard wrapping on them. And right behind there we've got, these are some handheld torches you can have in your hand while you go and light things off. They're only $1 and they're really cool to hold. And they will put out a big flare so you can catch other fuses when you're lighting things off. There's some sparklers, those aren't all that great, but they were 75 cents right there. Got a Black Cat 10 Report Roman candle. This was only $4 and it's got 10 shots. Next up we got some small ground flare salutes. These ones have some non-custom. These are spherical salutes down at the bottom. They've got a nice fuse right there. So yeah, 4 of those guys. And then moving them aside, we've got some whistle salutes. So these are whistle flares. So they'll last about 30 seconds before going to salute, so that's really awesome. As opposed to 15-gram ball shell salutes right there. We've got some, this one's weighed out 234 grams of flash right there, so these are ground flare salutes as well. There's 2 of them, so I can't wait to test those. They should be incredibly big. Back here we have the maximum overdrive fountain I showcased in my last video. They are pretty heavy, so yeah. 2 Chipola 100s, this one's blue, that one's orange obviously. They're no different. The fuses are a little differently set up, but yeah, they're all the same. Profi Cannon Shot Big Boy. So yeah, there's 100 grams right there, flash. They're really awesome. We got some red, white, and blue American ground flare salutes. I should actually be saying they are ground fountain salutes because they actually got a cool shower of sparks before they've got a 100 gram report. 50 versus 100 grams. So we got a full stick and an extra large full stick that have those cool little fuses that snap. This fuse right here is actually going to whistle, and this one's going to pop, so it's got some firecrackers in it. And it does actually have this little purple smoke bomb at the top, but I don't know how good that's going to actually look or perform. Back here there's some orange crackling balls right there. And then this cool bag, which I'll go ahead and bring over here. We've got a whole assortment of different things to try out, which I'll probably bring to the mountains sometime and just light everything off. So yeah, there's another Danger flare cracker right there with an FP3 Thunder King. There's some M80s with the fuse coming out the top. There's a Crazy Bang. It's basically got everything that I'd love to showcase the one day it comes around. So yeah, stay tuned for that video, guys. Last up, we got a black powder rocket. This one's cool. I showcased it before. Here's some all-rise artillery shells. In this case, we got 6 salutes, all-rise artillery shells. It was the last of the box that was at the stand, so I picked it up. There's another box of artillery shells down here, but I used all them up for future projects. Finally, back here we've got some flares that I planned on using for some canister salutes, but they were sold out of those this year, so I'm going to have to figure out how to use those in some future projects as well. There seems to be more that I'm forgetting, so here's a rocket pack that I used on New Year's Eve. It's got some rockets left over. And finally, we got the 100 gram salute that, yes, I keep showcasing. I promise I'll light it off. It's right there, though. Never gets old, does it? It's a 3-inch salute. So yeah, hope and say your prayers that it actually goes in the sky, because I really hated that I didn't have quick match for it. So yeah, guys, that wraps everything up for 2020 4th of July. I shouldn't really have much more to get or showcase. If I do get more, you'll see it in my 4th of July video that I'll hopefully put up and have for the 4th. There's probably 1 or 2 things in this entire stash that I did not showcase, but stay tuned for them later on. So yeah, guys, have an awesome 4th, and I'll see you later.